Welcome to the Sydney Property Muppets podcast. My name is Kurt Lawther and I'm the real estate agent, and with me forever is
Chris Clark, the buyer's agent.
the beautiful buyer's agent.
Welcome back
Mark
to this.
my words.
Welcome back to Sydney Property Muppets.
Sydney Property Muppets, where all the amazing advice is.
And just crack that for us. Oh, yeah, you did get it there in the end.
Yeah.
Thought you'd pre-cracked it. Cheers.
I would never.
As we say, we record 4 episodes, the future sort of episodes. This is number 4, so we get to have a beer.
Which, if you're an active watcher, you'll be like, Kurt, why are you changing your outfit?
Well, I'm changing my outfit every time.
Yeah, true.
But it's for you because the studio's near my house. All right, all things pet peeve today. This is going to be fun. I always like this one.
Well,
What you were talking earlier on about some pet peeves of yours.
yeah.
One came to mind for you, one came to mind for me. We rolled from there. So go on.
I was going to say, it started from maybe me talking about dating life, and then you're talking about Tinder, and then you were talking about how buyers shouldn't be treating REA and Domain like Tinder.
Yeah, because I think people do on occasion, they sort of jump on REA or Domain, go, great photo, good location, price guide, yep. And then they actually go and inspect, so go and have a date, but they haven't actually looked at the full, like all the prompts on Tinder. They haven't looked at photo number 5 to work out, it's not a standalone house, it's a duplex, or it's on the right road, but it's at the bad end of town or something.
Yep. They haven't analysed whether the photos actually match it, or the photos how trickery has the...
Catfishing.
Catfishing? That's not a thing. What?
Right, so going to that, and then you came up with a bit of a pet peeve, sort of linked.
My pet peeve.
Go on. Let me hear it.
When you're selling a unit and you have listed the strata fees, the rates, the council rates, and water rates.
Yep. That's so much. So far, so good.
And
what's the pet peeve?
In the inquiry, they ask for what are the strata levies, rates, and fees.
That's the one thing they're asking for?
They might ask for price thing, but they also tick rates and fees.
Okay.
So it's not just price. Now,
I could let that go.
Okay, can you let this go?
I don't know.
When you put the price guide up, you put the price guide, you put all the data.
I see.
All the things, and they still come back with...
Well, mate, it's like...
And I've had where you put the price up and they ask for the price.
Yeah, but it's like Facebook Marketplace. Is it still available? And someone says yes, and then they ghost them. Like, mate, we're in a society. My pet peeve, right?
Yeah. Well, sorry, Chris. I don't want to be rude.
Well,
Chris, what is your pet peeve?
Thank
you for asking me what my pet peeve is.
I did indeed. My pet peeve is when there's no price listed. Typically, this happens to the property has recently been advertised, and I contact the agent, and then I send an inquiry because the agent isn't not available at the time, and I ask for pricing. And what I get back on some occasions is we're waiting for the first 1 to 2 weeks of inspections before determining price. Now I know, and this can be bleeped out later on, that is bullshit. Because to have an agreement in place, what do you have to have in the agreement?
In the agency agreement,
what do you have to have?
The agent's opinion of value.
So there is a number written.
Yep.
Right? So tell us that number. Give the buyer a chance of understanding. Things could change. Can you change the price as the campaign goes on, up and down?
We can.
So why wouldn't you give it to us day one, what you've already told the seller it's going to be, roughly? It doesn't matter if it goes up and down. Give us a chance.
There is a genuine exception.
Okay, what?
On the agency agreement, there are 3. So you give agent's opinion of value.
Yep.
And then there's 3 boxes to tick. The agent has been instructed by the principal being the vendor, whether it's going to be offered with a price range, a single price, or no price.
Yep.
If the vendor says, and I have actually happened, and we told him, you're actually ludicrous for doing this.
Okay, yep.
They mark us that we are not to disclose a price. We legally cannot.
That's not true. You legally, you have to. If someone says, if I ask you what is on the agency agreement,
we don't have to.
You have to tell me.
We don't have to.
You absolutely do have to tell me.
We don't have to tell you.
You do have to tell me.
Actually, I think this is the first time. Like, ladies and gentlemen,
I am convinced.
we are a year and a half into recording the podcast, and when Chris and I first came up with this idea, we were like,
This is him avoiding the answer here.
this will be brilliant because it will be balances and checks. And the problem Chris and I have faced is we're both really ethical agents. So we're just like,
Yeah, and
this
I'm
has to
ethical
go-
and I understand legislation. I'm pretty sure you have to tell me the price. You have to tell what's on the agreement.
No.
Yes,
No, you don't.
yes.
This will be good. We'll come back to it. 'cause-
Circle back to it. Okay.
No.
So secondly, though,
Yeah.
the other point is there are habitual agents that never, in the first 2 weeks campaign, never do it. Now, you might be like, well, Chris, they might just have the tick box every single time.
Yep.
But to me, that's them almost either one, they're telling the vendor to tick that box, to default that. And other times, I reckon it's just their technique. You can't tell me every agent's ethical,
Alright.
upstanding, and truthful.
All right. Well, let's break it down. I was talking from the agency agreement point of view.
Yep.
Do I think you should tell the price? 100%. Do I think as an agent you should make it as easy as possible for the buyers also to understand? Yes, I'm saying that.
Do you think there's agents out there that deliberately don't tell the price? It's part of their absolute, like their core DNA. They've been trained not to.
Yeah, there would be.
Not that there would be. Yes, there is.
Same thing.
No, different.
I'm still stuck on that. I'll show you an agency agreement.
Yeah, no, just because it says that though. But if someone verbally comes to you and says, "Tell me the agency price," I'm sure you have to actually disclose it.
If someone comes to us and asks what's the reserve price, do we disclose it?
The reserve price has got nothing to do with it. I'm talking about the price listed on the agency agreement.
But you don't have to tell.
You do.
You don't.
You do.
We don't.
You do. Anyway, we should move on. What other pet peeves you got? Any other ones?
Oh no, I did have another not a rebuttal to the what was yours? You said something and I was like gonna explain why sometimes it's done. So here's one. So occasionally, why an agent will also go contact agent is if they've on the agency agreement said just say the home is worth 2 to 2.2 million, the range. The vendor says the vendor instructs the agent to guide the price at, and it might be like 2.4. They can say a higher price than what the guide is. They can't go lower, but and as an agent, if you put that price up there and just say, like if you would be being like, look, we need to go contact agent. You still disclose the price when people ask, but it's to get that inquiry through. Because if you do put, for example, 2.4, because that's what they've instructed you to guide, then it's like there's going to have no inquiry, and then you're actually going to get no feedback. Whereas at least if people have inquired, not that I agree with,
At least start getting traction.
but well, then you can at least explain to the vendor, look, we've had 20 inquiries.
Yep.
No one's rocked up to the first 2 open homes.
Yeah.
We are guiding too high.
Yep. Okay.
And then you've got 20 email addresses you can at least then go back to once you've improved the price. Could be up or down. You can go back to, look, price improvement or change of price, and you've got the people that, well, they showed interest, they reached out. Another pet peeve, mate,
You could ask me if you wanted to. If you want to ask me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Chris,
So,
do you have a second pet peeve?
This is what we talked about a few episodes ago, but it still remains a pet peeve, is when an agency is big enough that they're across multiple suburbs, but their database is unshared. So you rock up to look, this is happening in the same suburb, because one of the agents might be in Ashfield and this property's in Marrickville, and so the agent happens to have a property outside of the area. So I go visit 2 properties in Marrickville with the same agent, and one of them I give him a phone number. Yep, connect the dots. Yep, you're Chris, no problem at all. Go to the other one, same agency. We don't know you at all. What's your phone number? You're not in our system. Can we have your number? Who do you buy for? It just wastes my time. It's so frustrating.
Well, it's one of the things.
I know you said with Shed, they don't do that.
Shed. Look, this is actually for an Ox fan.
Proud sponsor.
Ox fan. Well, thank you, Shed Property, for sponsoring.
Me on the other hand, no, I'm just born
operator. You are, Chris.
Born a Muppet.
So that's one thing that my gripe about the marketplace when they go and try and find an agent to sell is people just presume, and it's great marketing by the brand, that the big brands, you've got all these buyers because they all work together. The thing is, they don't. Now, a lot of agents are not. There are lots of agents that are nice and friendly, and you will have chats. But often, sometimes the biggest rivalry happens actually between the agencies, like internally, because they're fighting over commissions.
Yeah.
Now, I can proudly say that Shed Property, we have open database. There's no fighting over. It's just
Yeah, well, we've got an auction, going to an auction this weekend with an agency. I'm not going to say who it is, but a large one. I'm doing a deal tonight that with the same agency but a different agent that is likely to be successful. Touch wood, touch wood. That's definitely wood. It's in the same agency. So come tomorrow, it is likely that I'm going to call the agent for the Saturday and say we've purchased XYZ in your same firm. He's going to be quite frustrated because he's lost maybe his primary buyer for the auction for his property, but they don't talk to each other. They have no idea. Right. I think we bring it to a close. Pet peeves. We should come back. I can do another episode. Pet peeves.
This is good.
This is a good one. But anyway, on to Q&A for me. What have you got? Big dog? Bring it on.
Q&A. 3 quick Qs.
This could be interesting. Oh, God.
What moment in your life had the biggest impact on you, but you didn't realise it until looking back 10 to 20 years later?
Oh, the biggest impact on me what I didn't realise at the time. I mean, the one that comes to mind was moving to the UK. You go, yeah, it's going to, like, I was backpacking and so forth, but it was the first time I was in isolation, had to book everything myself. And later on, I'm like, thank God for that experience. Like that actually built a lot of resilience in me and built a lot of processes. But yeah, probably at the time, I was just like, oh, wake up, get to the next day.
Yeah.
But looking back, it's actually meant a lot. Go on, that was a good question.
I like it. Chris told me to look at the camera more. So.
More camera.
What
do I do with my hands?
Chris,
car drives real good.
What is something one of your children has done unexpectedly that moved you deep in your heart?
Beautiful this evening, actually. My daughter's gone to camp for the weekend, her first school camp, away for a few nights, and she asked me to write it's a 3-day camp. She asked me to write 3 notes for day 1, day 2, day 3 that she could open each day. And little did I know, while I was writing on these bits of paper, putting in an envelope, she'd hidden a note for me that I just found tonight that said, I'd say something like, everything I know is because of you, and I love you dearly.
Oh.
It was beautiful.
Oh,
that's
good.
Good question for tonight.
Question 3.
Yes.
How will you make someone's day tomorrow?
I'll do what's expected of me. I think that's one of the biggest things I think you live for. If you've set some expectations, so I know I've got to edit our first video and so forth, and that's got to be with Noel tomorrow morning, so he can extract to do what he needs to do.
Yep.
And I am helping catering for the football club tomorrow evening. I'll be there nice and early. So just doing the things that's expected of me that others then don't have to be like chasing me for. A bit practical, but that's the way it is.
Ladies, you got yourself a man.
Oh, jeez. Now on to you for homework. I'm going to go back-to-back for you these 2 weeks in a row now.
Do you know what? I'd love a 5-star review.
I haven't asked for a review for a while.
On or 5 stars on Spotify.
Spotify.
Actually, love a favour. Actually, if you've got this ability, please tell us how to get on the Apple Podcast when we're trying to swap over the Google account that we originally created because it was just wasn't set up.
Cheap and nasty.
And it's just being a difficult process. You
got any experience with Apple Podcasts?
Because we don't want to have to start again with all these.
Again, no.
Yep.
So thank you. Thanks for dropping by. You know I'm going to get 1,000 SEO guys now from all overseas contacting us.